What's the story behind that?
Okay, that was my dad. When I was really young, he was a licensed plumber. He ended up working at General Motors for the rest of his life until he died. And he was the jack of all trades, master of none. I didn't know this until I got older. I thought he was freaking Superman. I did.
Yeah.
And I used to follow him everywhere. There was no Nintendo, any games for me when I was a kid. I was interested in tearing things apart and seeing what he was doing. So, like I said, at 6, I rewired the whole second floor of the house under his supervision. And wherever he worked, I was right there. And I was there the whole time. And it got to the point where I was 12 years old, and this is all true, I finished my very first basement. And it was my aunts and my dad would come in and take a look at what I'm doing. By the time I was 19, I ran a company with 13 employees. I told the owner, I'm the boss, nobody tells me what to do, and I'll make you money. And I did that for 3 years. But one of the jobs, so I left there and I opened my own. And then one of the jobs I did, I brought my dad in to do the plumbing. Just, I could do the plumbing, I learned, right? But I wanted him to do something.
Yeah.
So I took this lady's bathroom and bedroom, ripped it apart, and I created her dream bathroom. She used to grab people off the street to just bring them in to show the bathroom that I built for her. So my dad did the plumbing, and I finished it off. He did all the roughing. And then when he came in at the end, because he wanted to see the job, he came in, and he goes, holy cow. So he's walking around, and he couldn't believe what I did. And I said, what are you talking about, Dad? You're Superman. You can do this in your sleep. He's like, no, I can't. You talk about codes I don't even understand. And I guess that's when I realized that, I had a frog in my throat at the time. Yeah. But I realized that my dad was proud of me, and that was the beginning, really, of my career. I did Lazy Boy.
Can you share what you did down there? And by the way, Katrina is over 22 years old.
I heard, it's what?
22 years old now, right? 2005. 20 years old.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So...
That's what I said.
It was funny because, I didn't know that Brad Pitt watched my show and loved my show. I had no idea. It wasn't until I met him. But he loved the philosophy. Make it right. Make it right. So when this happened in New Orleans, he got together to help raise money and create a foundation called the Make It Right Foundation. And, we called and said, I own that. What's your intent? And I think they got all nervous, like we were going to sue them. And I don't sue people. Let's work together on this. And I said, well, why don't I come down and help you engineer it? You've got 13 architects. We'll help you engineer it, and I'll build the first one. And they said, what would that cost? And I said, I'll film it, and I'll show the world. And I said, nothing. And they went, well, that's a pretty good deal. So I went down, and we re-engineered everything. And the one we built, we gave the house back. We were there for 3 months, and it was hell. We worked morning till night, 7 days a week. We did not stop. Even my kids, it was the first day Sherry started, my daughter. So she started on the show. And I conned her like I conned my son to get in the trades. Because they didn't want, Mike, I want to be a firefighter. Okay, that's good. We need firefighters,
yep.
Right? But, why don't you come work with me? Play with the tools. No. Nintendo. Oh, God, he was a black belt Nintendo. I hired him for the summer one time, and I said, I'll pay you good money. And, he thinks that's a joke now. But at the time, it was good money. He's like, yeah, right. Well, that's because he's making big money now. I get what you're saying. Sherry never wanted to get in the trade.
So again, back to the reason why we're here. Like, how do we get my 13-year-old son to think it's a great idea to get into the trades and make a difference?
So here's the problem. Right now, when I was in school, grades 6, 7, and 8, I was doing sheet metal, woodworking, welding, and that was in school, and that's all been pulled out of school, right? Mm-hmm. They're doing the cutbacks left, right, and center. So there is no temptation for the kids, and we keep trying to work with different, the synergy we try to create at the Holmes Group is having all the best people around you that can make things happen. And working together as a team, you get to do that. We just did a podcast with, what would you call that, Seth? You put those goggles on your head, what do you call those?
Oh, virtual reality?
Yeah, virtual reality, but it's about teaching. And you can learn in virtual reality, and right away, I got excited. Kids are going to love this. They can actually design a house, build a house in virtual reality. Now temptation has a possibility to come back in to engage the kids, to give them an opportunity. If you don't give them temptation, they're not going to do that. And a lot of contractors right now, I'm sorry, they're going to tell their kids, don't get into the trades. This is my back's broke, my knees are gone. You know, get into IT, be a doctor, be a dentist, be a firefighter. You know? But get into the trades. They're awesome, because one thing you can't take away from me is my ability to fix and build for the rest of my life. Everyone can make money doing it and be better every day.
Yeah. We sponsor a construction camp in Philly every year called MyWick. So it's mentoring young women in construction. Your daughter's in the family business now, right? And she's into the trades. How's that going?
Well, it's funny because at first she hated the camera. She really did. They were so terrified of the camera. And bit by bit, with me playing with them, they got used to the camera. And my whole goal was to get them into the trades, get them to love the trades. And of course, my daughter was the perfect candidate to become, you know, for women in skilled trades, she's up here, right? People respect her, they love her, women love her. And it took a while, but here's what happened. So I said to my kids, I said, yeah, would you guys like your own show? Because I'm thinking retirement, I'm thinking, and this was 10 years ago. And yeah, I think we could do it. I said, I know you can do it. And if I had a pair of overalls, I'd give them to you. Okay, we're going to talk about mold for a sec. There's 2 food groups for mold, right? What are they? Put up your hand. Yep. No. Water 1. What's the second? Nope. Anyone? What? No, you're not allowed to say anything. Moisture, water is moisture. Okay, so when hot meets cold, it creates moisture. What's the second food group?
Dairy?
Nope. They can grow in the dark. Nope. I love this. I get in front of thousands of people and almost no one can answer this question. Organic matter. Organic product. Paper, lumber, drywall, paper on the drywall. So I learned this when I was 19. Why is this bathroom molding? What causes mold? And this is my mind that just fights with me until I figure it out. Okay. So we got hot meeting cold. When you look at the building envelope, minimum code says your insulation, your vapor barrier is on the warm side. Everyone's got it backwards. I don't even want to talk about that, whether it's United States, Canada, Japan, I don't really care. We can build the same way around the world, everywhere, the same technology. If hot meets cold, you're going to have moisture. If you build with any organic product, you're going to have mold. It's simple as that. A coffee cup, right? Here's a paper cup. Let's go to the cheapest form of foam in the world is styrofoam, coffee cup. So it doesn't burn your hand. Everyone's had that, right? Nobody likes to use them because it's not environmentally friendly, but that was the best coffee cup. Let's take a glass of water, put ice cubes in it, and it sweats on the outside. Do the same thing to that coffee cup. That's called a thermal break. Minimum code in your home is called a thermal barrier. You want a thermal break. That's one.
He knows his stuff. Can you share what that's about?
I wanted to do the Holmes Foundation for the next generation of skilled trades, just simply because I had to do something. So I work with colleges right across Canada, and you know, they even have a Mike Holmes renovation program. And I don't really care about that. I just want the encouragement.
Why not?
And the Holmes Foundation was really simple. It was to help raise money, and I put in a crap load myself, because you have to when you open up a foundation, and it's just to give scholarships and bursaries to the kids. And I'll tell you, I started this, I'm going to say 20 years ago. And I am today meeting kids that find me and come to me and say, thank you for that scholarship or that bursary. I'm now in the trades because of you. And these are things, this happened to me all across the last 2 days in the IBS show. There's people coming up to me saying, thank you, I'm a contractor because of you. Thank you for please don't, stop what you're doing. It's going to be more floods. There's going to be, and I'm telling you, you don't have to listen to me, there's going to be more hurricanes. There's going to be more tornadoes. Watch what insurance companies do. It dictates everything to do with building technology. We're not going to insure the houses for burning, right? Oh, everyone's screwed in California. We're not going to insure the houses in Florida for the hurricanes. Oh, so why build in Florida? What we need to do is get smarter.
No.
There's many different problems with what happened to California. One, there's going to be a lot of people that didn't get insurance. A lot of people. There's going to be people that can afford to do it their own way. What I would love to see is the government get together with all the right people to say, since this whole area is ruined, let's redesign it that this won't happen again. And the problem with that is, how long is it going to take to get there? What do we need to do? People with money tend to have the power not to wait. Oh, you didn't. I mistook it. In Alberta. Where is it in Alberta? Fort McMurray. Man, that thing burnt down just like California. It burnt. Why did it burn down? Because when there's wind, I tell people all the time, what's the best roof you can put on your house?